What is the dumbest thing you've ever heard? My step-granddad's son-in-law went by slick. His feats of stupidity were too frequent to fully enumerate here, but some highlights include his belief that cough drops only work indoors because the medicine they contain is neutralized by outdoor air, his attempt to house and leash break an armadillo in an effort to impress his fancy cousins, his remark that the town wasted money replacing an obviously dilapidated bridge because it's been there for years and years. If it was going to collapse, it would have happened by now. One of my co-workers is a flat earther. The dumb thing about it is we are surveyors. Our job involves adapting data from a plane of youve flat paper maps to an ellipsoid model GPS. The whole idea of satellites falling towards Earth through space, thereby circling the Earth on this mathematical model, only works if the Earth is round, well, sort of round, either way. My colleague works with GPS and still thinks the Earth is flat. He's either really dumb or I will lose my house if we had to play poker. I just got back from a trip to Cuba and two things come to mind. The people trying to watch the eclipse when it wasn't even slightly visible from our location. They were just staring at the sun. Also, the day we were on the beach and a large seabird was flying over the ocean. I said to the older woman we had met, I wonder what kind of bird that is. She legit tried to argue that it was a dodo bird. She would not believe that the dodo was extinct. I gave up arguing. Before the eclipse, one of my coworkers asked me to explain the difference between the bright yellow thing and bright white things on the sky. I was speechless for a beat, then incredulously said the bright yellow one giving off light is the sun, and the bright white one is the moon. She said, well, how are they going to pass each other if one is to the right and one is to the left? I just hoped that she was asking because she wanted attention. No one is that stupid. A 20-something once told me she didn't believe in evolution. About 5 minutes later, I discovered she was studying medicine. For anyone who doesn't know, the entire field of modern medical science is both predicated and reliant on the fact that evolution is true and ongoing. It wouldn't even exist without evolution. It's like saying you want to be a driving instructor, but you don't believe in the rules of the road or internal combustion. Friend and their ex arguing about the song Santa Claus is Coming to Town. My friend told their 3-4-year-old that Santa couldn't really see them when they're sleeping and know when they're awake. Their co-parent flipped out and sent them an email about this. And I swear, as serious as a heart attack. Dude starts flipping out saying, then how does he know who's naughty or are nice? We still laugh about it every holiday season. Performing oral sex on a woman as a man is gay, because it puts you in the submissive position. Dude that told me this was a self-proclaimed alpha and single for multiple years and didn't have any women at the room, which he basically never left in his shared apartment for at least 2 years. This was confirmed by the 2 guys who shared the apartment with him, who were my childhood friends. Lee means we can't talk about things that go inside of the company to outsiders, right? Wrong. According to one of my colleagues, that means that the person below us needs to own up to their mistakes. I was so dumbfounded when she told me that. It was really hard to not laugh at her face. Opal are all going to get mad and everything is controlled by artificial intelligence. And we are all alien hybrids that already died anyway and got backed up and now watch on life on the cinema screen. Heard a woman talking about how she had just been to Morocco and how amazing it was. She then immediately started talking about how she had never been to Africa, but would love to. Seems very strange that someone would book and go on a holiday without at any point checking where in the world they are going. I was talking to an American when I was visiting my gran in America. They noticed that I had a Scottish accent and they turned around and said, "Oh, you're from Scotland? How long was the drive?" Must have been a few days. I had to explain to this grown man that it's not possible to drive over the Atlantic Ocean. Context is important to this one. I just need a break from work. Additional months off from work. Had worked a total of 100 hours in 2.5 years. No car. No job at the time of this statement. No savings to speak of. Couch hopping. With a baby on the way. A few years back when there was a military exercises my city, I spoke with an American who commented on the lack of African Americans in Norway. I thought it was just a slip of the tongue, but no. He genuinely believed that all black people outside of Africa were African American. Anytime people talk about politicians with blind faith like they actually control the world and want what's best for the citizens of their country. I have a master's degree in political science and have lost all faith in government regardless of political affiliation. Had a friend over years ago, and we were talking about my plasma TV. He said that he would never buy a plasma TV because he didn't want to have to replace the plasma when it ran out. I didn't correct him. I thought it would be best if he didn't buy a plasma TV. That guy didn't have Master Luther on. And this guy's entire stream chat tried to steal the Ashbringer from him. Some dude did and I laughed my ass off. He just simply asked if they would be nice and let him have it. It was hilarious and so stupid. This was well over 10 years ago. Still takes the cake. I refuse to be an organ donor because I'm gonna need those, to which I reply, you know you'd be dead right. She doubled down, I don't care, I'd still need them. My dad once told me that the reason why his relationships with his ex-wife, my mum, and his new girlfriend fell apart must be because they were both the same zodiac sign. No, Dad. I think it's because you cheated on them. When I busted my ex-husband for chronic cheating, he begged me to stay with him. Why, you ask? Because cheating was just a hobby for him. And it was no different than my painting hobby. Hard pass lol. There was this one time our flight got cancelled because of a snowstorm. The guy sitting behind me said, God damn it, this happens every year. Why don't they put a roof on the runway or something, dumbasses? My friend once told me he wasn't too concerned about using birth control because everyone knows the girl can only get pregnant if they both come at the same time. His GF was pregnant 3 months later. I was talking to a woman at a friend's BBQ who thought Albert Einstein invented gravity, and that by physically writing his equations for it backwards, we could unlock the secrets to levitation. I met a girl who tried to warn me about drinking water that had been boiled, because she said it boiled away the hydration and you'd still die of thirst if you just drank that. Okay, thank you. My sister panicked whilst on a plane and asked if she could open a window. She was feeling really hot. The guy in the seats across from her lost it. It made his day. It was the deep state. Deep state is just an angry way of saying normal people doing their jobs when it's inconvenient or embarrassing for a politician I like. Dinosaur are just made up fairy tales. It would be so bad, but we live in London with the Natural History Museum with full-scale dinosaurs there for people to see. I was in the back seat at night and I noticed that she was driving with the high beams on. When I warned her, she said, "The high beams are for the highway." Okay. I know Harrisburg is the capital of Pennsylvania. But what's the capital of Philadelphia? Actual high school graduate in the Philly burbs. My granny said she saw on TV that you can charge your phone by rubbing it on a cat and told me to try it out, since she couldn't make her cat do it. I once encountered someone who insisted that Britney Spears invented the electronic dance music. Not popularized, not revolutionized, invented. That the Louvre was depriving people of a real art experience because they don't allow people to physically touch paintings like the Mona Lisa. I was drinking water while standing and a dude told me that drinking water standing is like urine of a donkey, and it is sinful like WTH man. A girl I used to work with was pissed that her boyfriend only bought me 12 roses, he wouldn't even go all out for a dozen. What a jerk. Woman said the guy she's dating is going to leave his wife for her. Any woman who says this is absolutely delusional. Went to college in LA. Oftentimes you can see Catalina Island from the beach. Girl I knew thought it was fucking Japan. I'm too dyslexic to know directions, was the response I got from a realtor upon asking which direction the sun rises. The shit I read on football Twitter Reddit on the daily. Every day I see the black mold spreading and getting worse. For the longest time, my roommate thought Africa was one country. He also thought Sudan was located in Asia. The earth is flat with a dome separating us from the firmament. Oh, and the Devil's Tower is a tree stump. There's someone in the sky called God, and he rules the universe, so we should be praying to him. She used to smoke all the time, but she didn't get cancer until after she went to the doctor. Plastic is the superior chopping board for ease of use and cleanliness. I'll die on this hill. My friend was having a bad trip and broke down crying because I can't move my upper jaw. My friend, topper of my class, pointed to his wrists when asked where his ankles were. Flat earthers arguing about flight paths on a Mercator projection mat not being straight. That you can now charge your iPhone instantly in the microwave. This actually happened. I'm actually Scottish myself. Oh, yeah. What part of Scotland? Dublin. Watching Lord of the Rings with someone. So this was like a really long time ago, huh? Wildy gestures to the current state of the world and the politics that caused it. Overheard two guys in line talking about how George Harrison was a one-hit wonder. A woman I know thought Pixar movies were hand-drawn. She's watched all of them. Pronouns guarantee she won't take all your money, lol, always makes me laugh. Tells me they feel ignored. Proceeds to ghost me for almost 2 months. Barack Obama is not a role model for black children. My father-in-law. Destruction of a gasket on an unrated container is acceptable. When you cut your hair, it grows faster, thicker. Like what? Is David Attenborough that guy that believes in evolution? When the leader of the free world told us to drink bleach. White Jude asked if I'm Chinese ... I'm obviously Indian.